Good afternoon, and what is a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Friday the 28th of October. I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to unbox. Or open, I should say. So let's get the knife on this. So what we have got in here is okay. Is Never Mind the Dice Rolls. This is the all new tabletop game Zine or Fanzine. And we've got everything listed down the side there. What's in it? So what is a role-playing game, fantasy scenario, reviews. How to Coast a Convention game, a complete game, retro 80s scenario, and more for a very inexpensive price. So the production values on this, actually I'm just flicking through this. I don't know, flicking through this. So production values for this price, surprisingly good. So we open up, and here we have contents. And clear. This is published in September 2021, and first thing we've got an explanation of what is a role-playing game, which will be interesting to see someone else's point of view of what a role-playing game is. We can pretty much agree on what it is. It's a shared experience involving our imaginations and any conversations. In which we explore a fantasy world, whether that's whether that's actually a fantastic world or a science fiction world or a contemporary world. It's similar to that, okay, using agreed upon rules and mechanics. So next we have a nice little short. Do you remember your first time? Oh God, do you remember my first time? It did not go well. I tried to involve my parents and sister in it. They didn't get it. I didn't quite get it either. I kind of got the idea, but yeah, it didn't go very well. So I was a bit of surprise many years later when my parents were weren't very keen on me role-playing because it was taking up time more than anything else. When they turned around to me and said, have you thought of, insuring your collection? Because they finally recognised what it was, which was quite a thing. But anyway. So, that's going to be just an article, but basically we've all got our memories of what it was like the first time around. Some of it was amazing, mine wasn't. I did a much better gaming experiences after that, and a lot since. We have sci-fi scenarios, so just some suggestions as to what's you can do with science fiction scenarios, and we have an actual proper scenario of the Doomsday Stone. Okay, and this is systemless, so you've got a copy of this. You can take this and apply it to the system of your choice. Whether you're running something, you are going for something like the old school Renaissance, so do it using old school essentials, or the Black Hack, or any of those variants, or Knave, something like that, or even do the astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, if you wish. Or the 2D20 system and the Conan game from Mongoose. So, little short scenario you can prepare using with the stats and system of your choice. We have a review. This is of the Call of Cthulhu starter set, which has been recently been released in a new edition, the 40th anniversary edition. There's not much different. It's been changed inside as far as I'm aware, but this goes back to 2021 where we're working with a standard edition. And I've reviewed this. I tend not to read reviews of things, basically until much later after I've reviewed. I'm going to do it sort of like a professional interest, because when it came to role-playing magazines, that sort of thing, I always loved reading reviews. That's why I started writing them. That and to see whether or not I could actually write reviews and prove that I could. So always interesting to get someone else's opinion on something. But as to the Call of Cthulhu starter set, I would put it in my top 5 starter sets. If I had to list five starter sets, because it's comprehensive, it provides everything you need to play, and it provides you with a lot of content to play, whether you are a solo player, or you want to play with just a couple of people, or a full group. You can literally build up to that. It's really nicely staged content. Okay, so then we've got a review of Nibiru, which is a game of science fiction game of basically memory loss and recovery. I've got a copy, glanced at it and gone, this looks interesting. I'm not going around to reviewing it, so I may not read this bit anytime soon, because I don't want to get influenced, of course. And the next article is, why on earth did I start a podcast? Yes, almost, your aunt and her dog have a podcast. It comes to gaming, not everyone has a podcast. I don't have a podcast. I've done a bit of podcasting, even been a guest occasionally. But here you've got Dave Patterson talking about why he started a podcast. And it's surprising, sort of podcasts have their own lives. They sort of they kind of run out of steam, but they build up, and the quality goes up and down. Their interest goes up, the host interest goes up and down. He's just trying to keep it up. But yeah, he's talking about how he started, what he did, and so on, and what he's doing with it. And that's always an interesting insight. If you think, oh, I should start a podcast, people really want to hear me talk, then perhaps here's an article from someone who did it. Then we're talking about, we've got a list of fantasy scenarios. I mean, basically we could go back to the science fiction scenarios. There we go. Just got a couple of there, and then we've got a couple of fantasy scenarios in the back here. Next we have how to host a convention game, Flesh and Fibre Optic. Now what's interesting is that the role-playing convention has kind of changed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was forced to move online, so people were doing a lot of gaming online during the pandemic, and then conventions would be organised that way. Interesting that I run a couple of, I've co-run a couple of conventions in the past. I've not done any since the pandemic because I haven't had any time. There's one I'd like to get back to doing, if I can find a good venue. But I moved one of those online because I had to at that point, because everything was organised. But I've not done any since. And here's how to do it. And then Dungeon Romba is a clever little idea. It is available. This is available separately. Is a sort of like a mini solo journaling kind of game where you play a dungeon Romba, and you basically control its progress through the dungeon, doing the robotic cleaning it's meant to do. Unfortunately, it's not picking up the dust and dirt that you've walked into the house, or your cats have walked into the house or have fallen off them. Instead, it's picking up the dirt and detritus of a party of adventurers going into a dungeon, slaughtering everyone, and leaving bodies strewn everywhere. So if you want, it's the Gelatinous Cube, the adventure. So yeah, nice little adventure there. And then thank you for watching. And then we've got thank you for watching a nostalgic 80s suburban adventure. So we've got an 80s adventure there, all waiting for a system, and that is really tying into a genre which is popular right now. It's been popular past few years, especially with the release of Stranger Things. We have Tales from the Loop as example role-playing game, also Kids on Bikes. So perfect with those two, or the system of your choice again. Again, no system provided, Then we've got discussion of sort of like myth and role-playing games and the unicorn myth. As essentially, the example here is Vampire the Masquerade from 1991. And that's it. That is Nevermind the Dice Roll from Nevermind the Dice Rolls, a UK fanzine. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to review. I will do a review of that at some point soon for the fanzine focus. I'm always on the lookout for fanzines like this to review. Because one of the nice things I like about fanzine, it gives a concrete voice for people a concrete platform for people to publish, even if only in a small fashion, rather than just putting it up on the web where it might be lost. Having something in print is always much more satisfying than being online. So yeah, Nevermind the Dice Rolls, issue 1, available from Nevermind the Dice Rolls. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings of the Nook, where you will see me out here with a package containing, in this case, normally a book or game, in this case a fanzine, which I will talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. All, of course, done with my nice cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.